It's me. Hi. Did you miss me? I was sitting here and I had some things to do this afternoon, and it didn't end up working out that way because both my husband and I had some other stuff we had to get done first. So anyway, I don't even know how to explain it other than I'm here now doing this video. Okay, so that's what's happened. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to have a look at the month of October. We're getting a sneak peek, okay, as you could see in my description, that we will get a bit of a sneak peek. I'm going to use some these ones I got in a market in Melbourne. And they're basically the Rider-Waite, kind of a bit of a rip-off of the Rider-Waite, but they're just called My Tarot Pack. Now, I want to encourage you to get started with the signing up process for the tarot course, because on the 1st of October, which I believe is Saturday, it will go up to its regular price. I mean, it's up to you. I wanted you to be able to get it half price and then you can experience it. So I have some other cards and things that I'm going to do today, and we will also be looking at something called the Kitchen Tarot. This is mainly, I think it's just major arcana, because I want to, these are called the Kitchen Tarot because it has things like the stove, the kitchen timer, the punch bowl. I thought these might be a little bit of fun. I'm also going to do some cards with reversals and things today, so we will see, okay, what goes on. I'm also going to do, what am I going to do? Talking to Heaven, and we're going to have a look first at the Enchanted Map, Colette Baron Reid. That was the other one I was trying to think of the other day. Sonia Choquette and, Colette Baron Reid. All these women who were already very, very successful. Remember when I was talking the other day about starting your own business and feeling like you can't because, feeling like you can't because of other people that are already successful, But you can. And I am proof of that, even if I am not as big in the public eye as I really would have liked to have been by now. A lot of that has to do with the agendas that have been at play for quite a while. I would have to say that when I got an iPhone, the first time I got an iPhone, I think it was like 2014 or 2015, around that time. And it was almost like when I got that, I'm trying to trace it back to when things started to really slow down. And I reckon it was then. So I was being, how they say they listen into your phones and stuff. I think it was then. All right, we are going to start with, this is sneak peeks for October. Okay. So we're going to start with the Enchanted Map, and we're going to move through some different things just for a little look today. So hope you're happy and well wherever you are, and I appreciate you. My son told me I should get some of you to go on to Reddit, and when people are asking about spiritual teachers and guides and things, that you would help by sharing my name in those locations, because people don't have a clue on there, but a lot of people use Reddit. He suggested that, so any little help which doesn't cost anything for all of us is great. So, if you just did a Google search or a Reddit search of spiritual teachers and advisors and things like that, then you could say, hey, go to BDevine online or YouTube, Divine Miracles or whatever. Anyway, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but I appreciate you all. Let's go. Okay, so October 2022 is coming up. I'm going to be on a podcast on the 10th talking about the Lovers card on the tarot. And also we'll have a Halloween show. Also a whole lot of other stuff is going on. Okay, let's take a look here. Balancing act. Well, that would make sense in Libra season. Intention and sad embrace. Okay, what are we doing here for October? Balancing acts. There are times when things seem a bit topsy-turvy and it feels as if you are juggling 1,000 balls in the air. So perhaps you're unsure of your footing, and now is the moment to evaluate which areas of your life need balance and then restore equilibrium. Choose harmony over discord, and great success will be yours. You'll find inner stability when you choose a balanced, focused, and level path. So we have to look at the areas in our life for October where we're still juggling a few things or throwing a few things up in the air, you know, that are unnecessary. It took me a long time to ask you all to help to share my work, and I don't know why. Maybe I thought you were already doing it, but or just didn't want to bother you or anything like that. But now I feel more than ever that people need the right messages, because as I told you before, there's a lot of darkness out there posing as light, and we're trying to get rid of it everywhere and get people on the right pathway and learning how to help themselves. So one of the balancing acts that I have to do is look at what I'm fixated on and what this causes inside of me. Am I fixated on something because of something else? Or am I fixated on it because I really want what I'm saying, you know, that I want to have happen in the world? And it really does boil down to both things. You know, sometimes someone triggers and then you start being more determined. And you have to be careful that you're not always pushing ahead expecting resistance, but pushing ahead and then, oh, this is not going to work, but I'm going to keep pushing, but it's not going to work. You know, you see how that doesn't work with each other. We've got to be flowing downstream really easily. So when you're flowing downstream and you're just floating, right, you're just hanging onto your little raft and it just goes for you. It's just maneuvering its way, right? It can be a little hairy, but you're still just maneuvering. You're not paddling. You're, for the most part, not exerting all of this energy. It's just happening. Whereas when you go upstream and you're paddling and it's hard work and you're pushing against the current and you're trying to go, you know, and it's very difficult. And then you go, God, I'm just going to stop. And then you fall right back down the hill. So what we've got to do is be able to turn around and make the easiest way possible for ourselves. It is a balancing act. I always tell my students, you're never done. I hate to say it, but we are never done learning. We're never done healing. There's always things that we are working on. There's always improvements to be made, like fine-tuning, you know. And there's things that are external that we're also dealing with. Now, October is going to be a little bit more interesting for many of us around the globe. And we will figure out why, okay? So continue to remain in balance. I call on the angels of balance. I call on them 3 times and to balance me up in whatever way I need it to be. But also I need to listen to my self-talk. So intention here, we know what intention is. And isn't that funny? 11 and 11 is 22. We know what intention is. So deliberate, clear intentions have the power to change your world. Your objectives will be fulfilled at this time. Inspired intentions are like magic arrows shot into the sky. The universe is bringing you a gift, showing you that you're hitting your mark. Recognize that you're not the one who has to do all the work. However, others help you co-create reality. You connect to the power of your intention, sending it out into the field, then allow for synchronicity to work its magic. So perhaps the good intentions of others will inspire you to send out beautiful ones of your own. Own the life you want to lead and live deliberately with clarity and detachment. Okay. So if you are foggy with your intentions, and if you are foggy about your ambitions, and all stressed and all over the place, then the intention that you have is failure. I hate to say it that way, but that's basically what happens. Is that, everything that we're trying to achieve in our life has to be set into motion with success is just going to happen. There's no doubt. Same with what I'm doing. I would stop doing this if I felt like it was just not going to go anywhere. Most people would have given up by now because of the sheer volume of work that it takes to get 1 or 2 people to buy something or whatever it is, right? That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. But I know where I'm heading. So it's like I already know success is assured for me. But I'm learning along the way by pushing and just being there. And my biggest intention with the whole 2020 scenario and the whole destruction of the evil and the elites and the whole destruction of spirituality and the infiltration of darkness and people stealing ideas and making them their own and all of these things, right? I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but I knew that I had to be a constant. And it's a shame that people who are trying to do good things in this world quit because they can't handle the constant rejection in many ways. Okay, one person has a big old rejection online for their, for their videos or whatever, and they're like done. They're in the corner, having anxiety attacks and they can't go back online. It's like if you really, really care about what you're doing rather than what others think that you're doing, that's all that matters. And for me, my spiritual light team and, my spirit guides and everybody that work with me, they know what I'm intending to do and they are applauding my efforts. That's all I need, So what are you intending to do for October and for the rest of your life? If it's foggy, that's all you're going to see is, failure and, people annoying you and, upsetting situations because you haven't got a clear intent, a crystal clear intention. Now, we are all as gifted as each other. I've always told you that. You can do this. You can tap into it. You've got all of the knowledge of the universe flowing through you. Be unique. Be yourself. Dare to be yourself. And you don't need anyone to hold you up and agree with you or be there. From my point of view, one person that's saved is worth it. One person. Now, I'm so glad there's more than that. But really, my intention was, even if I can help one person, it's been worth it. So what's your intention for your future? Are you clear? Are you being misinterpreted? Do you have to step back and gain a bit of perspective or clarity on your situation? Are you evaluating yourself? Are you nurturing yourself, or are you picking yourself apart? Okay. October is going to be important to strive, we're going through so many shifts very quickly, and things are going to crumble around the globe even more so. We've seen it. We'll do the Nostradamus coming up in October. You know that, the Gong Hee Fot Choi. We've seen it. Okay. We've seen how these things come out. Now, sad embrace. All right. Sad embrace. Okay. All right. Loss is a part of life. Let go and allow time to heal you. So perhaps you're having to let go of a long cherished dream. If so, take heart, for this ending may have been for your highest good. A better and more powerful dream will be realized in your life if you can accept the loss. Wait a minute. Can you all hear that? I don't think that's might be a jet. Okay. Okay, all right. Relationships based on faulty foundations are meant to end at this time. Disappointment is a form of perception. If your expectations weren't met, a sense of loss arises, along with sadness and grief. Express these emotions. Tears are like healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. Growth is always assured. Whatever the loss, however great it is, let go and experience your feelings so that you may soon see what beauty lies ahead. You don't want to have to suffer over suffering throughout your life. You know, that you were treated unfairly and that people took advantage and people rejected you. You know, people have a bad relationship and suddenly all men or all women are jerks for the rest of their life. To me, that's really sad, and it's a form of bitterness, you know. My dad had it towards my mum, sadly, where for the rest of my life I heard about sweetness, which was his mockingness for my mother. Sweetness this, sweetness that. Instead of calling her the BI name, you know, he would call her sweetness, right? And rightly so, that she was horrible and, you know, they had a bad relationship and she was horrible to me and, you know, la 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 la. But a child shouldn't have to hear how you feel about the other parent your whole life, you know. And really it should have been resolved. And he held on to it even till the end. So that told me that if he didn't care about her, it wouldn't bother him. So for him to even mock the energy and continually bringing up sweetness and continually bringing up, you know, these stories and whatever, he never got over her. That's a sad thing, no matter what happened in his life. Sadly, my son has a little bit of that too going on right now. Never got over this first girl that sadly went with all of his friends, you know. Not the friends don't get a bad rap, but she does, you know. Anyway, the sad embrace. We've got to look at suffering over our suffering, you know. Unfairness, deprived of what you're entitled to, longing for a love that eludes you, or the success that is bestowed upon others. Righteous anger and a sense of entitlement lead to a trap of ego. Suffering and loss can happen, of course, but it can pass if you let it. If we continue to hold on to our perception of unfairness, then we find ourselves in its grip, unable to breathe. So we have to just embrace how it's really made us feel. You know, we have our trials, we have our tribulations. It builds character, as they say. Some people, it makes them worse. They don't ever come out of it. And part of the life blueprints, there are so many of them, you know, life themes and blueprints, is to probably be the opposite of what your life looked like it was going. But a lot of people do give up, sadly, or think that the world is better off without them. And I don't know how many times I've had suicidal messages sent to me and, you know, had to continually sit with the person until they were out of that ideation. You know, a suicidal ideation that comes up all of a sudden is definitely a dark attachment. We will go through, I'll probably be putting up a small sort of free course of some kind on PTSD and spirituality as well. But anyway, as we look at things to be grateful for, however painful things may be, we have to sit with them and say, you know, this really made me sad. This really, really upset me that this person thought this or this person did this. You know, a couple of times in my career when people have suddenly left, I've been so upset, like crying, like, what did I do? And I just couldn't think for the life of me, like, what I've done, you know, other than, sadly, you know, the person is going through a thing where they go to all these other people or start listening to psychics or start asking questions about you behind your back without any knowledge. And all of a sudden, a big picture's painted. And, you know, I would sit there thinking, why? Why would someone think that after all this time? Or someone thinks the worst. And, you know, as a Leo and just as a really, really kind-hearted person, it's really hard for me to think the worst of anyone. But it really, really gets to me deep in the core. If someone all of a sudden thinks the worst of me, I think to myself, so all of these years went by, there was no problem with me. And then you have some kind of issue and you go to a psychic or you go to some healer or something like that, and you're mentioning me and talking about me, and that one person turned you against me. I think you might have been against me the whole time. And I think that realization, you know, is hard for anyone to accept. You can't believe it when someone is not who that you think that they are, you know. And again, everybody has their own journey. No hard feelings to anyone. Not that they're going to be here listening anyway, but, you know, to anyone that had to turn away or got a reading that was a bad one, or, you know, whatever it was, you know, I'm sorry, you know, for that energy or whatever it was for you. And I really hope you find peace somewhere, you know. But I don't hold on to any of this anymore. However, that energy of someone thinking the worst of you, you'd have to admit it for yourself. If someone just out of the blue felt the worst of you and saw the worst and just started talking about it, you would be shocked. You'd be like, where the hell do you get this from? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? It really hurts when someone does that. And I think that that has to do with a fear of persecution. You know, past lives where you've been accused of something that you haven't done, or someone is thinking the worst of you. And it brings up a fear inside, like, well, what's going to happen now? I'm going to be burnt on the cross or something? Like, am I going to be killed? Like, am I going to be, you know, exiled? You know what I'm saying? So there's a deeper emotion to that. And we have to start to just look at these things in our life that, you know, we've stuck with for a really long time as part of our reality. You know, things that we've just kept within us, and really start to examine these things because they're not doing any good. Wow. Okay, so typical Becky style, just go as deep as possible without meaning to. Okay, where's the bucket for that? Does anybody else call things the name that they're not? I've just called this a bucket. Oh, I call things like that to the animals as well. I'll be like, where's your bucket? Where's your bucket? And they're like, the hell are you talking about? What bucket? I mean their food bowl, you know. Oh. Anyway, okay. All right, goddess. All right, we got. Oh, jeez. Look, make an announcement. We're doing a goddess card because we got to, because they obviously threw themselves into the video. Now, Doreen Virtue became like a massive Christian and all of a sudden renounced all of her beautiful work for the world and has become this very, very strange and entitled Christian. He's very, very judgy now. And I just wanted to put my 2 cents on that in case we hadn't talked about it before. I just think she was scared into it. I really think that she was terrified for her or her family's life. That's how bad I think it was, and that she was forced to do it. Because I'm telling you, she does not look happy. And I can't even watch. I can't even look anymore as well. So all of that money, all of those beautiful books, all of those beautiful cards that we all, you know, wanted to learn from and do and play with and have the collection of, is gone now, because she had a vision of Jesus in a church who told her it was the wrong way, which I don't think it was Jesus at all. And not to mention the fact that in one of her books, she mentioned in the Ascended Masters, Angels and Ascended Masters, I think it was, Archangels, and there was a thing in there about Jesus and how she had this connection with him before she ever had this Christian connection. So, I don't know. I just think it's all very... People say it's her husband and that. I think it's darker than that. Anyway, Sulis, bodies of water, spending time near the ocean, the water such as a lake, river or ocean, recharging batteries here. Artemis, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. You are being guided and guarded, connecting with Artemis and Apollo as well. Abundantia, prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Wow, beautiful. So these particular goddesses, I mean, you can call on any goddess you want, right? They're always working with us if we want to. And if we're open to it. And I will be doing, you know, like over time, you'll get a whole lot of different courses and things. I have already done a Gods and Goddesses course, webinar thing. It was so fun. And that will be available again. I'm probably going to put some of my things up at the Teachable website so that you can see some of the other webinars that I was doing. I was doing so many webinars. Okay. We're going to get a hello from heaven. So the first thing I'm going to get you to choose is number 1 or number 2. Okay. I think we need some messages from heaven right now. So much loss has happened. People missing people right about now for some reason. People's birthdays coming up. My dad's comes up in October. My youngest son's just bought a house in Australia, and I'm so proud of him. He's doing really, really well. He's got they bought a house. He has his own little trade. He has, what the heck is going on out there? He has his own trade, in his own little business sort of thing, and he has all of his music stuff as well. And he's just like, he doesn't complain about anything. He just gets on with it. So he's doing really well. And he moves in on the 21st of October into his new house. Like, I was so happy to see that, because I'm like, there's a room for me. There's a room for when Bobby and I get there, you know. Whether he knows it or not, we're coming at some point. Okay, so number 1 or number 2. Let's get some messages for you. This is number 1. This is number 2. Okay. Number 1. You ready for your loved one's message? I want you to just think about someone, your loved one. Whoever that is, you might even be thinking about your ancestors or just someone you haven't thought of for a long time. And we'll see. This is for number 1. I always give you a good night kiss. Aww. Although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. I had to leave that way. We go, what does it have to be? Why did it have to be? Why did you wait for me to leave the room? I had to leave that way, okay? My death was painless. Please don't worry or hold on to guilt. I am with the rest of the family. I think that's comforting to know sometimes. I send you loving signs through nature. I'm so much better now. I really like that one. So much better now. Like when I was talking about my dad earlier, like I knew that he'd already fixed all of this, in his life. So, number one, I always give you a good night kiss. Although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. I had to leave that way. My death was painless. Please don't worry or hold on to guilt. I am with the rest of the family. I send you loving signs through nature. And I am so much better now. For number one. Okay. Underneath, it was my time to go. Dogs are running around because there's a little storm coming in. Okay, you ready? Number two. I'm just a thought away. Every time you think about your loved ones, they know, right? They're right with you. I'm just a thought away, okay? You have nothing to feel guilty about. This is going both, right? Because people are always like, I should have been there. I shouldn't have had an argument. I shouldn't have been so tired. I shouldn't have been so annoyed. I shouldn't have taken the night off. You've got to stop, because your loved ones, usually 9 out of 10, they don't want you in the room when they pass anyway. They're but about 6 weeks before they pass away, they are totally aware that that's actually going to happen, and they're coming to terms with it. It's when they let go, you'll see a very quick demise, and their actual soul energy leaves their physical body. So, they don't feel the things that their body looks like it's feeling. It just doesn't happen. This is from countless therapy sessions with people. They don't feel anything that way, but they don't. They're in a blissed out state. They are comforted. They are loved. So you've got nothing to feel guilty about. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Oh, God. We have been together in dreams. Please know that when you see your loved one in a dream, it's actually a real vision. We will be together again. I wish I had told you more often how much I love you. Somebody needs to hear that. Tears cleanse the soul. So, I am just a thought away. You got nothing to feel guilty about. I am sorry. Please forgive me. We have been together in dreams. We will be together again. I wish I had told you more often how much I love you. And tears cleanse the soul. Okay, underneath it says, it's beautiful where I am. I remember when I first had a connection with my mediumship on a much deeper level, I saw my granddad, and my granddad died when I was 5, and I loved him to pieces. He was a strong man, a really kind person, and to be honest, my husband's eyes are always smiling, and so was my granddad. And my granddad Garrett, who is actually cousins with Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil, the band. And I remember having this very, very deep connection with him. And when he passed away, he was riding a horse. Well, he wasn't riding a horse when he passed away. He actually had a heart attack. But when I saw him on the other side of the veil, he was riding a horse, and he asked me to go for a ride with him. And he was just showing me around heaven, basically. And one of the things that is actually really, really true, you might have seen it on that Field of Dreams, that movie with, Robin Williams. But the colors are so vivid, like on the other side. And he was showing me that when you pass away, that you create the life that you want, that you're able to go through your healing, and you're able to create a space for yourself that you've always wanted, or that you really want, like on a deeper level. So he showed me fields and fields and fields of beautiful grass and trees and shorelines and mountains, and he could go riding all day, and just it could be another landscape the next day, like he was really showing me how at peace he was. To the point, it was so vivid that I could see the patterning on the saddle, like on the leather, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was amazing. And funnily enough, on his gravestone, there was a horse with a little blue heeler. So like a little blue heeler pup. And they used to ride their horses and things to school. So anyway, it was just really interesting. Please know that your loved ones are close by, and even if it's someone you haven't thought of for a long time. Now, I really wish my cousin Evelyn would get it together and say hi, because when I was about 7 years old, she passed away, 6 or 7, and I used to teach her how to read, and she was 13. So she had a learning disability. But I haven't seen her since then. Like, she hasn't come into any mediumship. I've looked for her. I don't know. So she may have reincarnated, and that's the whole thing. Or maybe she didn't have any messages for me. I don't know what, but I often think about her. Anyway, if any of you have mediumship skills and you want to leave a message from Evelyn to Becky, that would be great. Okay, let's go. Future spread, let's go. So we're going to have a look at October here using these cards. And also we're going to clarify with the Kitchen Tarot. So, first week of October 2022. First week of October 2022. First week of October 2022. Okay. Second week of October 2022. Second week of October 2022. Third week. Third week of October worldwide 2022. And fourth week. Fourth week of October 2022. There we go. First week. Oh boy, look at us go. First week of October. So we have the Strength card, and then we have the 9 of Coins working together. Both women have an animal with them, okay? This is both of them looking at the animal as well. And Also, it's very yellow, as you can tell, right? It's very, very yellow. That works with our solar plexus chakra. It works with anything that's abundant in any way as well, right? Abundant time, abundant compliments, abundant money, abundant whatever it is for you. So for the first week of October, we're in this energy of infinite strength, okay? Getting things done, taking control, okay? And also that the financial situation here with the 9 of coins, something that is owed to you or something that, you know, you have worked on, it starts to come in for you, right? It starts to really make sense. Messages are here. Information is here. Your mediumship ability will increase as well. You have a connection with the earth itself, right? And you have a connection, you have a connection with the number 8 here, because then we have 8 and we have 9, which is 17, which adds up to 8 again. Okay, so we have this in infinite energy here. There's something occurring where we're focused a little bit more in the first week of October on what can actually take place for us, rather than all of these, you know, fears as well. So on the second week of October, here comes the devil, here comes the emperor energy here. We're already kind of connected with this before, where something is going to happen worldwide with the darkness falling, right? Remember we did this with the Nostradamus cards, and we even had the emperor come up recently in many readings as well. So the leadership, you know, the corruption, the greed, the addictions, the malice, the power struggles, right? The people are breaking free from this energy, the evil energy, the darkness that has been surrounding the planet. It's almost like there's an exposure. So this is the second week of October. This is being exposed to us, right? Just what's really been going on. Now, this has come up quite a lot in readings as well. And this also shows the major arcana here. There's something else about this. Hang on a second. Definitely the satanic energy here. It seems to me like this symbol that he has, like some kind of symbol here in his hands. Actually, I might get my a special book out in just a moment. The Emperor here, in this particular card, he looks like he's focused on getting away with something, because his eyes are shifty. Okay, so perhaps this is talking about people who we think have gotten away with stuff, because I always see it in the forums and things like that where people are like, well, nothing ever happens. Well, that's not going to happen. Well, they got all this evidence and nothing ever occurs. You know, that kind of attitude's got to stop. But it's like this person thinks they're getting away with it. All right, we'll find out more in a minute. It's the third week. See, and here comes the third week of October. We're like completely, see this again, this infinity symbol. The yellow again, we're taking our power back. We've got all of everything that we need to succeed. We are in some kind of crossroads because we succeed here. So, success is key for October as well. So we see past the illusions. The second week, it's all coming to a head. The third week, we finally break free. The fourth week, see, this yellow is everywhere for October. That there's an enabling energy here. Like, we are able to finally do something. We are able to finally, that word is, strong for this fourth week, that we're finally able to push through, break free, get past the storm waters into the clearer energy, to focus our intentions, to lift ourselves into those next levels, right? But there is something here, and I'm going to get something really quickly. All right, stay with me. Okay. All right. There's a book called, Fortune Telling by Tarot Cards. You need to get the actual deck with it. Like, this is a deck that I had a very long time ago. But for some reason, in my mind, when I'm guided to something, I was like looking at this and I'm like, hang on a minute, I know what book I need to see, right? To explain something to you. So the Emperor here, okay, I'm going to talk about that. This is definitely the boss. So is, we'll look at the Devil in a minute, but the Emperor's right here in my face. It's representing a person who's part of your life, right? You're not going to be able to ignore this person. This might be a skilled businessman, an elder statesman in government, or a powerful, firm but benevolent husband or father figure. Sometimes the father energy comes up with the Emperor, but in this case it's negative. So it says here, this person is not very talkative. They are not very entertaining. They can cope with situations. They can be someone who is reliable. But I'm getting in this instance that because the Devil is sitting right there, this person is not all they are cracked up to be. They are not as strong a character as others might want them to be. Not as reliable as we want them to be, right? Immaturity, a lack of concentration, and an inability to finish what's been started. Too much dependence upon others instead of self-reliance and faith in their own abilities. So this weakness may be due to poor health as well. May not be going through a full inactive life at the moment. Now, we are coupling this with the Devil. So I feel like this is catching up with him. Right? The Devil energy. Okay. Now, the Devil, it's a strong warning not to be talked into something that you don't want to do. There's an element of bondage, enslavement as well. Something about there needs to be something that we are enslaved to that needs to go for good. Being tied to people that are not good, this Emperor. Okay? Now the Devil urges us to be very practical as well. It urges us to become more independent and to stop accepting unpleasant situations just for the sake of peace as well. Unless the chains are broken, unless we remove this emperor, then we will continue to feel oppressed. Okay? So it's interesting, right? Because Satanism is considered to be a religion. However, the devil is not anything other than anger, anything other than hatred or pain, inflicting pain. Because when you inflict pain on somebody, a person who is the devil energy enjoys that. They get something out of that. Now that's very bizarre to us because that's not what we think. You know, it's like narcissism. It's really bizarre because you don't think that way. Therefore, you don't expect someone to treat you that way. Right? You just don't think that way. But a narcissist will think that you think that way. It's very, very... They think that they're trying to be one up on you all of the time. Thinking that you know. God, such games. So this is what that's reminding of. So for some reason, this really has to, you know, people are beginning to wake up about situations. They're really starting to become more aware of hidden messages as well. Okay. And they're starting to break free. And it just seems like we have success in that very quickly. Like things are shown to us and we have this success. So I'm going to do the kitchen tarot over the top of this. Now this is the kitchen tarot, so we will see week 1 of October 2022. Someone keeps on ringing me. Obviously I'm not answering. Okay, week 1, we have the blender. Week 2. We have the stove, which is the Empress and the Emperor together. So this is a male and female power couple who are, well, power two that are connected in a place of power. Okay, and the week of 3 makes sense yet? Kitchen timer, so this is like the hangman. And the 4th week. Now the teapot, it came up reserved. Came up reserved. Okay, it came up reversed. Right. The first one is the blender. Okay, so the blender is concerned with mixing only healthy ingredients into your life, taking time to balance everything just right and not going to extremes. It's about moderation, allowing you to be the master of your pleasure instead of its slave. It fosters your independence, which is a means to your happiness as well. So it talks about the middle path, being aware of opposites, integration, recognizing right and wrong, self-healing, moderation, testing and trying, beware of too much of the good thing and work out the kinks, reconciliation, luck with women, and the merging, the family blending merging. Focus and concentration are the key ingredients. Oh my God, I can't talk. The key ingredients to my success are focus and concentration. Okay. Focus, concentrating. It's really the same thing, isn't it? Focus and concentration. It leads to your success. It shows you that like straight away. Now the stove comes up here in this strange circumstance. So what this is telling me is the male and female aspect of leadership, danger. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, so the stove abundance of good things. You know, this is the Empress. She's a little bit more positive. Creative success. Music. Mother Earth. Fertile body and mind. Accepting gifts and favors and taking pride in your appearance. The sense of touch and feeling. Luck with love and matriarchs. And don't lose your temper. So the Emperor here talks about, due to your dedication, there is victory. There is a breakthrough. And this is about the male energy here, the power of nature or masculine, controlling tempers and keeping our cool. Okay, taking on greater responsibility in our life. The kitchen timer here talks about postponements or delays, second thoughts, a fork in the road. And that's a lot like the Magician, like you're at a crossroads, as I said. Giving willingly and honestly, long hidden secrets being exposed. That is what it says. So it can be, it's really hard with the, because this is the kitchen timer, which is kind of like the hanged one, right? And it's like breaking habits, psychological habits, physical habits as well. Breaking these thought processes that you've had. Remember, this is something that we were talking about. Changing the way that you see things, changing the way that you do things. And this leads to a lot of success as well. But it's like we're going to be forced to make changes because of the information that is revealed. And finally, the teapot. I really don't think this has... this talks about the high priestess, right? The teapot, which is obviously intuition and something mysterious brewing, okay? But it usually talks when it's upright about the picture not being clear yet. Now, it's reversed, which means the picture becomes very clear. We need to trust our resourcefulness, our intuition. We need to look beneath the surface. Still waters run deep, okay? We know this, okay? Take action. Hidden knowledge is revealed. It's all happening. It's all happening. Wow. For October. Remember, we're going to get a deeper insight into October anyway, you know, because that's what we do. We will, for many of us, there are going to be these milestone points, and I will be doing the Gong He Fot Choi and the Nostradamus and all kinds of readings as we go along, because it's interesting to see things unfold. And October, it looks to me that, as I said to you before, that October seems to be when I felt there was more information. You know, we're seeing a lot of whistleblowers right now with different informations and things, like lots of information, and things that people didn't want us to know. And again, this is reinforcing that we will know. Now, exactly what that is going to be, I want to look a little more deeply in my next readings as well. I want to encourage you all to really, really focus yourself on where you want to be, because just know that your timelines are shifting. As you have an epiphany, you will go on to the next level. As you have an epiphany, you will go on to the next timeline energy. You will raise your vibration, right? So maybe do this and understand that as you're going through those adjustments, your body's going through those adjustments as well. You may have had some stomach disturbances. I know I have. And I just let things go. I'm like, okay, I'm getting rid of something. So I just let it go through, you know. I try to pinpoint where I can. For me, it's a lot of this talk that I've been giving to you all where I've finally been able to say a few things more matter-of-factly, more frankly, I guess, and really talking to you in that way. I also had to sort of give my brother in Australia a little bit of a serve as well. Just that I'm not going to put up with their pushing. Any issue is just Becky's fault, and it's like, you know what? No, it isn't. I haven't seen you for like 20 years. How could anything possibly be anything to do with me anymore? And I told my brother that I was there for him and I'd like to be able to help him to heal, but it was up to him. I wasn't going to chase him down or anything like that either. And that he's my only brother, like as in full blood, you know, and I've already lost one. So anyway, there have been a lot, when you've done a lot of talking, communication, or clearing things in that way, it's unloading a lot of energy from a long time held. Your body finally just releases it, unfortunately. So it's exactly how it sounds. Good old release, right? But we will do some more readings coming up soon. Looks like October is going to be interesting. I want to explore October a little bit more very soon. So look out for those videos. Don't forget, I'm available, of course, for whatever it is that you need. Go to my website. But I'd really like to see you at some of these courses, because that's the thing that's going to help you to be able to navigate your future and help others along the way. Like, that's what it's all about. So sending many blessings. I hope you enjoyed the readings. Lots of love, and bye for now. Bye.